I'm Joel Chasnoff, and welcome to FIDF Live. The soldiers of the IDF work around the clock, 24/7, to keep Israel safe and secure. They're combat soldiers who defend Israel from land, sea, and air. But today, we are going to meet the soldiers behind the scenes, the unsung heroes. These are the Hebrew teachers, infantry instructors, even dog operators and trainers who are united with one mission: to ensure the security of the State of Israel.
My name is First Sergeant Oshel. I'm a part of Battalion 51's Command and Control Squad. I'm 20 years old, and we're about half a mile from the Gaza border. We work around the clock, we patrol, we work hand to hand with the armored corps and with the observers. An event that happened recently was two armed men tried to cross the border from Gaza to Israel. We were there on patrol, we were quick to react, and we caught them just in time.
My name is Jacob. I'm a 21-year-old soldier here in Tzva Haganah Yisrael, and I'm a loader here in the Armored Corps. Right now, we're on the Gaza border, and we're doing our best to protect the settlements that are surrounding us.
My name is Kaya. I'm 19 years old. I serve as the observer along the Gaza Strip. My job as an observant is to observe the Gaza Strip, alert the forces in the field of anything that I see that might be suspicious, any sudden movements, any new objects in the field, and just to know the landscape well enough to be able to fulfill that duty. All of this is to ensure the safety of the civilians here nearby, as well as my friends out on the field. To be the best observer possible, it requires deep understanding of the job. You need to understand why you're doing this. You need to understand the people you're protecting, as well as the threat. Not long after I arrived here, there was an event that really impacted me, which was when one of the observers, she noticed two people crawling in the 200 meters with the intention to cross into Israel. She alerted the forces on the field, and once they got to the point, they ended up finding hand grenades and knives on the suspects. This event made me understand the importance of my job and how a lot of times the soldiers can't see what's going on in the field as well as I can. And so it's very important that I stay alert and stay focused and alert them on anything that I see.
So the observer's role, the Tachbitaniot, is vital to our job as tankers. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do anything. They essentially act as our eyes. Whether it be us sitting 24/7 by the radio, waiting for them to announce that something's going on the border, or whether it be us going to the position on the border, waiting for them to have their eyes on us and on the enemy. Without them, we would have no idea what's happening on the other side of the fence. So what's beautiful about our relationship with the observers is that it's almost like we have their back, they have our back kind of relationship. Each and every peg in the IDF is necessary to make sure that everything functions as normal as it's supposed to. So without us, nobody would be able to react to each event that happens, but without them, we would have no idea where to go. So thank God with both groups, with all groups that make up Tzva Haganah Yisrael, we're able to act as efficiently and effectively and also as quick as possible. And another important role which we all truly appreciate here on the Gaza border is that of the FIDF, who give us the appreciation, who give us the extra motivation to work harder hours, to work longer nights, in order to truly feel like we have the support of people around us to protect Am Yisrael and all the settlements around us.
In battle, teamwork is key, and the essence of teamwork is communication. During a mission, soldiers need to communicate instantaneously and effectively in order to get the job done. One of the unique aspects of the IDF is it is the only military in the world in which teachers, specially trained, teach the soldiers the native language, Hebrew.
So Hebrew in Israel is the base, it's the key to communicating, specifically as combat soldiers when they have to communicate with their friends, with their commanders, and in the end protecting the country and being in these really complicated situations. So Hebrew is the key to understanding, to communicating, to making friends, and in the end to helping us, to helping the country. We have the most amazing, motivated soldiers from all around the world who they come and their main struggle is Hebrew, and to help them fulfill their potential, we can do the minimum and helping them every day to fit in and to learn and to be the best they can, and they are.
So as a lone soldier, you went to Jewish day school, had some Hebrew, but you still needed Hebrew education here, not just because of Hebrew as a language, but also because joining the Army, there's such a thing as Army Hebrew. So tell me about your work with the Hebrew teachers.
The Hebrew teachers here are absolutely incredible. I've learned an incredible amount from all the lessons. Like you said, it's not just about learning new words and new terminologies, but it's also about understanding how they apply to the day-to-day work that we do. So every single time we're learning a new technique or new practice or whatever it may be, we have lessons with all the Hebrew teachers, and they explain step by step exactly what we're doing to help us do the best job that we can.
I'm with Yuval. He's a lone soldier from Miami, just participated in this exercise. Yuval, can you give us one sentence about what this exercise was?
So what we just did is they taught us how to scan and search a room to see if there's any threats inside. And if there is, they teach us how to deal with every threat.
And the Hebrew for this is obviously a different type of Hebrew than you have on the street. Tell us about how you learned the commands and the operations.
It was hard at first. It's very professional Hebrew that I wasn't used to. But we had Hebrew classes throughout the training, and they taught us everything that we needed to know.
These Hebrew teachers are with you for your entire training period, not just 4 months of basic training, but 4 more months of advanced training. That's 8 months altogether. Yeah. What's that relationship like over that long time?
It's nice because with our commanders, we have this distance where we can't fully be friends with them, but they still have to guide us and teach us. With the Hebrew instructors, it's nice because we don't have that distance. So there's no times, there's no specific assignments, no homework. We just work together. They help us like we're friends, and they want us to succeed. They want the best for us. They want to teach us like we're friends.
Can you estimate about how much time each week you spend with the soldiers?
So it's really hard to estimate how much time each week, but they're here for 8 months. So we create this most amazing connection with the soldiers who are amazing and humble and motivated, and it's so fun to meet them and talk to them and being there for them just to teach them language, and also being as a family or as a friend sometimes when they need it, and talking to them and helping them and listening to them is the most amazing part of the job.
My name is Noah. I'm 19 years old and I'm a commander in Chavat HaShomer base for almost a year.
Chavat HaShomer base is one of the most complex bases in the IDF. The soldiers coming here to do their boot camp are soldiers coming from complex backgrounds. They come from broken homes or a tough childhood, and I would say this is their last chance to join the IDF.
This challenging and important work is led by young women, 19 and 20 years old, who at such a young age make a big difference in people's lives.
Me and my fellow commanders understand that our job is to be able to change even the way they think or the way they act at a specific moment so they can participate in the Army and complete their service and maybe even take it into their lives. As a commander in Chavat HaShomer, we face a lot of difficulties throughout the day. One of the main issues is the discipline. Mostly, we overcome these issues by explaining to them why the discipline is needed, talking to them, understanding them, listening to them. When I sit and talk to my soldier, I start building the trust with him. He starts changing the way he thinks, and for the first time probably, someone actually sits and listens to him. And most of the time, us commanders, we are able to get into the soldier's mind and to actually make him not leave or calm him down or understand what he needs from us, because underneath all that anger and all that frustration and all those curse words, it comes from a very deep need, that they actually are in some kind of distress. If we can make a small change in the way they act or change the patterns of their behavior, we can make a big difference in the long run.
Private Avraham is one of the soldiers in the Chavat HaShomer base. Even though he came from a tough background, he is committed to learning how to be a combat soldier in the IDF.
I grew up in Jerusalem. When I was 18 years old, unfortunately, my mother died out of cancer. My family took that very difficultly. My father couldn't hold the pain, so our family fell apart. From that, we moved on to a boarding school. There I tried to help my family as much as I could and keep the family together. I was in the boarding school until I finished high school, and then I joined the military. Serving in Chavat HaShomer at the beginning was a bit of a shock. I never expected to be here, but after I got to know everybody and got to know my friend and found my place, I was very happy to be a part of that system and to have special care that I know that everybody saw me and could take care of me in the best way possible. My commander is the best commander that I could hope for. She's doing everything she could just for us. She's sleeping very little hours and working very long days. In the end, she's doing all of that just to give us the opportunity to be here at the best experience we could have.
On the harder days when our soldiers have no motivation to keep running and to keep doing everything they need to do, I feel like we have the strength and we're working very hard to keep pushing them forward because we know that they can succeed in the service and in life.
Here in Chavat HaShomer, they teach us a lot about discipline, authorities, but at the end of the day, they teach us a lot about Zionism and knowing our country better and loving it more, and teach us about the flag and what it means and what it stands for.
Today we are in Akko at what's known in Hebrew as an Atar Heres, a destruction site. This is where units that specialize in search and rescue do their training. The technology they use, some of it is cutting edge, developed only in the last few years, and some of the technology they use to find survivors in these disaster situations is technology that you might even have in your own home. We're joined now by Captain Eden. She is one of the IDF officers in charge of this project. And Captain Eden, thanks so much for joining us. Tell us a little about yourself.
So I'm 24 years old, and I'm an academic officer of the Ministry of Defense.
In today's exercise, we're going to see live dogs in action. Tell us what the dogs are doing.
The dogs can scan a large area of the ruins in a very short time and without risking the lives of the soldiers.
So Captain Eden, what's amazing about these dogs is that using their sense of smell, they can go into the ruins and find survivors in a short amount of time without risking the lives of IDF soldiers. I want to ask, how are these dogs trained?
So the training progress is extremely important. We use the best of the best experts to train these dogs. The same way that you train a soldier to perform any task, you need to check and test the dogs on that mission.
We know that dogs are used in units throughout the IDF, but what do the dogs do in this unit specifically?
Right now we have a technique that we use by using only 2 instruments. One is the drone that can detect the dog inside or on or around the ruins. And another one, we use a GPS collar to detect their movement inside or on the site.
We're with Sergeant Nati. He works behind the scenes with Sayeret Alon, this elite canine unit in the Home Front Command. Sergeant Nati, tell us a little bit about Sayeret Alon.
Well, Sayeret Alon is a part of the Search and Rescue Brigade. It serves as a quick reaction force in terms of times of war and in peace times. Essentially any scenario which happens within Home Front, our team will be there first and is supposed to arrive there quickly and start the initial life-saving efforts.
And what is the role of the dogs in your mission?
The dogs serve as part of our unique locating abilities, our search and locating abilities. Essentially, before you can initially start even rescuing, you need to find the people. And within ruins, it's extremely difficult to find people, so dogs serve as the first response, so we can have a more continuous rescue efforts, so we don't have to waste time looking for people.
And where are the dogs actually trained?
So the dogs are raised and trained until they're fully qualified within a boarding school, which is called Manof. It's a special type of program where they take teenagers with difficult backgrounds. They train the dogs to be rescue dogs. It also forms a sort of therapy for the teenagers, being with them and having someone to care for with it and not take care of their own problems. In my eyes, that's the most beautiful part of this program, because we have a member in our team who worked with dogs for several years in the boarding school, and now he drafted and is part of the team, and he has an integral part as our main dog trainer. He commands the canine operators and is in charge of the regular training within the dogs in our unit.
It strikes me really as a double mission, saving lives in the rubble, literally, but also saving the lives of these youth, these teenagers who are at risk by giving them something to care for and live for.
Exactly.
Standing now with Sergeant Zoe. She's what's known in Hebrew as a mafilat klavim, a dog operator. And Sergeant Zoe, I want to ask, what does that job mean? What do you do as a dog operator?
Every time there's some sort of destruction that happens, we go in, we're the first ones there, we send the dogs sniff out bodies, humans that are alive, they find them, they start barking, and that's how we know that there's someone there that we have to rescue.
And what can the dogs do by being part of this team that soldiers by themselves would not be able to accomplish?
Sometimes when you get to a destruction site, you're not allowed to go on it straight away because it might still be collapsing. So the dogs are sent in immediately to start finding bodies so we could rescue them as soon as possible. And they could also go into little nooks and holes that we can't get to and sniff out bodies.
What are you preparing for? What kind of scenarios do you need to be ready for?
We are ready for anything. If God forbid the enemy starts attacking us, or if there's a natural disaster that happens like an earthquake or any such thing, that people are stuck under rubble, we are here to rescue them and help try to save them, bring them back home safely, and just protect our country and protect our people.
And Sergeant Zoe, if I understand correctly, this unit is the only one like it in the entire world, right?
Correct. Our dogs are totally autonomous. We send them from outside of the site, and they just do the rest of the work alone. They go on the site alone, they search for bodies, and once they find someone, they let us know, and we'll go take it from there.
Today, we saw that there are many important jobs in the IDF, jobs that impact the soldiers personally and how the IDF operates as a whole. Meeting these soldiers up close, seeing what they do and hearing their stories shows us that there are many ways to protect Israel. And hearing about these jobs, we realize just how intricate a machine the IDF is. These jobs fitting together like pieces of a puzzle with one mission: to keep Israel safe and strong.